The Seeker's Guide to Freemasonry by Jeff Morgan. Copyright The Seeker's Guide to Freemasonry. Copyright 2025. Jeff Morgan. All rights reserved. This work is a creative interpretation intended for informational and educational purposes. It is not an official document of any Masonic jurisdiction. Freemasonry and its symbols are the property of the respective Grand Lodges and their traditions. Why men need Freemasonry throughout history. There have always been individuals who, despite outward achievements, sense an invisible gap in their lives. They may succeed in their professions, care deeply for their families, and contribute to their communities, yet they still experience a subtle but persistent longing, a need for something more meaningful and enduring. It is not a desire for material gain or accolades, but for direction, clarity, and connection to something greater than themselves. In today's world, that yearning is often drowned out. We live in an age of endless distraction, where shallow interactions replace deep bonds, and where constant stimulation can leave a man feeling more fragmented than fulfilled. Popular culture rarely speaks to the inner life, or to the quiet disciplines required to shape a well-lived existence. Many men reach adulthood without ever being taught how to build an identity rooted in virtue, discipline, or purpose. Freemasonry presents a compelling answer to that void, not in the form of dogma or ideology, but as a structured path of personal growth. It is a tradition that challenges a man to know himself and to refine his nature through practice, ritual, and reflection. At its core, the craft is a journey of initiation that gradually unfolds the responsibilities and aspirations of manhood. Unlike institutions that seek to entertain or simply instruct, Freemasonry invites its members into an active process of transformation. It offers time-tested tools that are both symbolic and practical, meant to guide a man in building his character as one would construct a temple. Patiently, intentionally, and with reverence for the sacred. Equally important is the community it provides. Freemasonry gathers men of diverse backgrounds who share a common commitment to becoming better, morally, spiritually, and intellectually. In the lodge, titles and statuses fall away. What remains is mutual respect, accountability, and a brotherhood united by shared effort and values. In a world that increasingly trades depth for speed and noise for substance, Freemasonry offers a quiet, enduring alternative. It reminds men that fulfillment is not found in chasing applause or comfort, but in the steady, sometimes difficult work of shaping the soul. It is not a shortcut to greatness, but a compass for those who seek it. Loss of rites of passage in earlier times. The transition from youth to adulthood was not left to chance. Cultures around the world created deliberate and meaningful rites that marked this journey. Young men were taken out of their everyday environments and placed in situations designed to test their courage, patience, and resolve. Elders, who had themselves once walked that path, acted as guides, helping the initiate understand not only the expectations of adulthood, but the deeper meaning of who he was becoming. These rites served a profound purpose. They taught that maturity was not simply a matter of age or physical development, but of responsibility, wisdom, and inner discipline. They instilled values that transcended personal desires, emphasizing service, integrity, and the well-being of the community. Without such rituals, the growth into manhood lacked a clear beginning or structure, leaving many to drift into adulthood without a grounded sense of self. Today, this kind of initiation is largely absent. While modern society offers schooling, employment, and independence, it rarely offers transformation. Most young men move from adolescence to adulthood without being challenged to examine who they are, what they believe, or what kind of men they hope to become. The result is often confusion, frustration, and a sense of incompleteness. Even in the midst of outward success, Freemasonry stands as one of the few traditions that still carries the essence of this ancient process. Through its carefully designed degrees, it provides symbolic milestones that reflect the stages of inner growth. The initial degree invites the candidate to recognize his own ignorance and to step onto the path of learning. The next teaches the value of study, discipline, and measured growth. The final degree confronts him with mortality and challenges him to live a life of deeper purpose. These are not empty rituals or nostalgic performances. They are structured experiences that speak to the soul, reminding a man that real development requires effort, humility, and courage. Freemasonry does not merely educate, it transforms. By reintroducing the sacred challenge of initiation, it reclaims a role society has forgotten, that of guiding men through the essential journey of becoming. The Crisis of isolation. Modern life is filled with constant interaction, yet often lacks genuine connection. Many men today are surrounded by devices, platforms, and notifications, yet still feel a deep sense of loneliness. The rise of digital communication has made it easier to stay in touch, but harder to truly feel known. Friendships can become superficial, and meaningful relationships are often crowded out by the noise of daily demands. This isolation runs deeper than a lack of company. It reflects a loss of shared purpose and a diminishing sense of belonging. For many, the result is a quiet disconnection from others and from their own sense of identity. While society encourages competition and individualism, it rarely offers spaces where men can support one another in a spirit of trust, respect, and mutual growth. Freemasonry responds to this need with something far more enduring than casual fellowship. Within the lodge, men form bonds that are built not on convenience, but on commitment. The relationships forged through Masonic work are rooted in trust, tested over time, and strengthened through shared values and ritual experience. The lodge is a space where external roles and appearances are set aside. A man is not evaluated by his income, his profession, or his background, but by the sincerity of his heart and the integrity of his actions. Whether a teacher, a tradesman, or a leader, each brother stands on equal footing. This equality is not symbolic alone. It is practiced in the way members speak, serve, and support one another. In an age where genuine brotherhood is increasingly rare, Freemasonry provides a sanctuary. It offers a circle of trust where men can find companionship with depth, guidance with humility, and shared purpose without judgment. It restores what many have lost, the sense that one is not walking the path alone. The need for inner work. From a young age, society teaches men how to compete, how to succeed, and how to pursue goals in the external world. They learn how to earn a living, solve problems, and assert themselves. But rarely are they taught how to understand their inner landscape, how to manage their emotions, recognize their flaws, or develop the strength of character needed to live with purpose and honor. As a result, many grow proficient in outward accomplishments but remain unequipped to face the more subtle demands of the soul. Freemasonry offers a corrective to this imbalance. Rather than focusing on external achievement, it provides a framework for personal growth. The craft equips its members with symbolic tools, each representing a principle of ethical and spiritual refinement. These are not tools for physical construction, but for building the unseen architecture of character. The square encourages fairness and honesty in one's actions, a standard by which to measure behavior. The compass teaches restraint, helping a man define his moral boundaries and remain faithful to what is right. The plum represents the need for uprightness and consistency, guiding him to walk with integrity, even when the path is difficult. And the gavel reminds him to work continually on his own nature, removing selfishness, anger, or pride that would weaken the structure of his life. These tools are not meant to be understood once and forgotten. They are to be revisited again and again, each time offering new insight into the work of becoming. In a world focused on results and appearances, Freemasonry shifts attention inward, asking a man not just what he has achieved, but who he is becoming. It is this inner labor that ultimately gives life its meaning. The work is not always visible to others, but its effects are lasting. For those who are willing to do the quiet, honest work of self-mastery, Freemasonry provides both the guideposts and the support to walk that path with courage and clarity. A place for the seeker. Freemasonry does not appeal to those looking for ease or recognition. It speaks to the man who feels an inward pull, a quiet sense that life must hold more than routine or reward. This call is not always loud, but it is persistent. It grows in moments of reflection, in the space between achievements, where comfort feels empty and applause loses its meaning. The craft exists for those who are not content with surface answers. It is meant for the one who questions what it means to live with purpose, who seeks not just to consume or succeed, but to contribute, to understand, and to grow. It is for the man who knows that something within him must be built with care, intention, and discipline, something that cannot be bought or borrowed, only earned through the work of becoming. In the modern world, many men enjoy unprecedented freedom. They can choose careers, lifestyles, and beliefs more openly than ever before. Yet with this freedom often comes uncertainty. Direction is harder to find when there are no clear boundaries or shared rituals to mark the passage into meaningful adulthood. Without a defined purpose, freedom can feel like drift. Freemasonry does not pretend to provide final answers. It offers something more valuable, a path that helps a man shape better questions. Through its symbols, teachings, and community, it helps reveal what truly matters, not by prescribing a single truth, but by cultivating the tools and perspective needed to uncover one's own. For the man who seeks transformation, not through shortcuts, but through steady, honest effort, Freemasonry offers both challenge and support. It is not a refuge from the world, but a forge within it. It asks for presence, effort, and sincerity, and in return, it gives a direction, a community, and a sacred space where the soul's work can begin. This is why the craft endures. It is not because it promises success or recognition, but because it offers meaning to those who are ready to seek it. What qualifies a man to be a Freemason? He must be a man of good character. Freemasonry looks for individuals who already demonstrate a strong moral foundation and who are committed to further growth. It does not attempt to reform those who are unwilling to examine and improve themselves. Instead, it welcomes those who strive to act with honesty, responsibility, and ethical conviction in their daily lives. A history marked by serious misconduct, persistent deceit, or a lifestyle centered on self-indulgence may indicate that a man is not prepared for the personal discipline the craft requires. This is not about demanding flawlessness, but about upholding the sanctity of a tradition that depends on sincerity and inner readiness. The foundation of the Masonic path is character. While the Lodge offers teachings on virtue and personal responsibility, it can only nurture what a man is already willing to cultivate. True transformation begins with the desire to live by principles that honor both self and society. He must believe in a supreme being. Freemasonry is not a religion, but it is a spiritual institution. A man must believe in something greater than himself, a supreme being, often referred to as the grand architect of the universe. It does not demand membership in a specific faith tradition, but it does require that a man acknowledge that the universe has moral and spiritual order. Masonry works best with those who recognize their soul as part of something eternal. He must be free and of lawful age. Historically, a candidate must be freeborn, meaning he is not under coercion, mental bondage, or external control. In modern terms, a man must come to Freemasonry of his own free will, not through pressure or manipulation. He must be mature, usually 18, 21, or older. Depending on the jurisdiction, only a free man can walk a path of true inner mastery. He must seek light for the right reasons. The man who joins to gain status, business contacts, or social leverage will be disappointed. Freemasonry is not a club for networking or power. It is a rite of personal refinement. The initiate should come as a seeker of wisdom, not as a collector of titles. A true candidate does not come asking what Masonry can give him. He comes asking what he can learn, build, and become. Additional qualities that help a man thrive in the craft: humility, the ability to learn, listen, and grow; commitment, willingness to attend, study, and serve; discretion, respect for the privacy and sacredness of the work; curiosity, a mind that wants to understand the deeper mysteries. The internal application. Becoming a Freemason does not begin with paperwork or formal interviews, but with a personal reckoning. Long before a petition is submitted, a man must look inward and assess his intentions with honesty. The journey requires more than curiosity. It asks for commitment to ideals that shape not only actions, but identity. This inward preparation involves a willingness to seek deeper meaning in life, to align oneself with values that demand accountability, and to embrace the discomfort that often comes with personal growth. It is a process that begins in the heart and mind, a quiet affirmation that one is ready to strive for something higher than the self. The most important questions are not posed by others, but by the man himself. If he is genuinely drawn to truth, ready to hold himself to greater discipline, and open to being changed by the path ahead, then he may already possess the qualities that Freemasonry is built to cultivate. The craft waits not for perfection, but for sincerity. What does it cost to become a Freemason? When a man asks what it costs to become a Freemason, he is often thinking of money. And yes, there is a financial cost. But the true cost is deeper: the investment of time, attention, and transformation. Let's explore both. The financial costs vary by lodge and jurisdiction, but generally you can expect initiation fee. Typically $100, $500 paid once when you begin your journey. Annual dues, around $50, $300 per year, covers lodge maintenance, events, and Masonic charities. Optional regalia books, donations, modest extras for aprons, reading, or charity. Most lodges do not expect lavish donations or high spending. The principle is Simple. Every brother contributes according to his means. The personal cost here lies the true investment. Time. Attending meetings, studying the craft, learning rituals, and engaging in lodge work takes dedication. Some men find it spiritually refreshing. Others, burdensome. It depends on your heart. Energy. You are building something within yourself. That takes emotional presence, focus, and honesty. Ego. Freemasonry humbles. You start in darkness, among strangers, often younger or older than you. Status outside the lodge means nothing inside it. You must learn to serve before you can lead. The spiritual cost to be a Freemason is to work on the self like a craftsman. You must chip away flaws, pride, prejudice, laziness. You must refine your virtues, patience, courage, truth. You must sacrifice comfort for meaning, that is, the quiet price of light. Is it worth it? The answer to that question depends entirely on what a man seeks. If he is looking for quick gratification or external validation, the Masonic path will likely feel slow and unrewarding, but for those who are prepared to engage in steady, meaningful growth, and who value the bond of principled brotherhood, the experience becomes something far more valuable than anything that can be measured in dollars. The true reward lies not in what is received, but in who one becomes along the way. Making a petition, there comes a moment when the seeker must do more than study. If the call you feel is genuine, if you are ready to begin a path of inner growth and brotherhood, then the first formal step is to submit a petition. A petition is not simply paperwork. It is a personal request to enter a sacred tradition, one that has shaped the hearts and minds of men for centuries. Submitting it means you are asking to be judged, not on wealth or status, but on character and intent. What is a petition? A Masonic petition is a formal application to join a lodge. On it, you will provide your full legal name and contact information, your date and place of birth, your occupation, and brief personal background, a statement affirming your belief in a supreme being, 2 references from Freemasons in good standing, a declaration that you are acting of your own free will. Each petition is treated seriously. It is read aloud in lodge and considered thoughtfully by the brethren. It is not a formality. It is the beginning of a relationship. Where to get a petitia? There are a few ways to begin the process of obtaining a petitia. Through a local lodge visit, a nearby lodge in person. Especially during an open house or public event. Express your interest respectfully. Most lodges will provide you with a petition once they have had a chance to get to know you. Through a Grand Lodge website, most Grand Lodges maintain official websites with a how to join or contact us section. These sites will not provide a petition directly. Instead, they will refer you to a local lodge in your area. That lodge will then determine if and when to provide you with a petition based on your interactions and sincere interest. Through a Mason, if you already know a Mason, speak with him directly. He can help introduce you to his lodge and guide you through the process, including when and how to receive a petition. Finding Masonic references. If you do not know any, you are not required to already know 2 Masons. Many good men come to Freemasonry without existing connections. But if you are approaching the craft cold, without personal ties, you should understand that recommendation is not automatic. Masons are generally cautious when it comes to endorsing a stranger. While some brothers may be quick to offer support, others will take time to observe your sincerity and character before vouching for you. This is not a matter of elitism. It is one of responsibility. To recommend someone is to place trust in their integrity and potential to live by Masonic principles. Be patient. Put your best foot forward. Attend open events. Speak sincerely. Show respect for the craft and a genuine interest in the path. Over time, relationships will form. If you are the right kind of man, the right kind of brother will see it. Most Masons understand that every brother started as a stranger. If you are sincere, you will find support. Most importantly, no Mason will ask you to join. You must ask to become a Freemason, and if it is the true inward desire of your heart, you will. What happens after you submit? Once your petition is submitted, several steps follow. You may be invited to meet with 1 or more members informally. This is simply to get to know you better. A small committee may visit you at home or arrange a deeper conversation. They may also wish to meet your family and answer any questions you or they may have. Your petition is read in lodge and voted on by the brethren. If accepted, you will be notified and invited to take the entered apprentice degree, your formal initiation into Freemasonry. Questions to reflect on before you petition. Take time to reflect Am I seeking Freemasonry for self-improvement or for personal advantage? Am I prepared to commit time, energy, and attention to the path? Am I ready to live by a higher standard of conduct? Not for praise, but for principle. Freemasonry does not look for perfect men. It looks for men who are willing to labor in the quarry of the soul, who desire to learn, to grow, and to serve something greater than themselves. If that is you, then the door is waiting. Knock. What to expect after your petition is accepted? Your petition to join a Masonic lodge is accepted. You are no longer just a curious observer. You are now a candidate. You have expressed a sincere desire to walk the path and have been approved to take the first step. Here is what you can expect next. You will be contacted by the lodge. A member of the lodge, often the secretary or a brother assigned to your initiation, will reach out to you with instructions. You may be invited to attend a preparatory meeting, or you may simply be given a date for your initiation. You are not yet a Mason, and you will not be permitted to attend regular lodge meetings. But from this point forward, you are under the care and guidance of the lodge. You will receive a date for your first degree. Your Masonic journey begins with the entered apprentice degree. This is your initiation, the symbolic birth into the craft. It is a solemn and meaningful ceremony designed to awaken you to the principles and purpose of Freemasonry. You will be told what to wear and what time to arrive. The degree is private. Only Masons will be present. You will not be expected to know anything in advance. You simply need to come with an open mind, a respectful heart, and a willingness to experience something profound. Expect the unexpected. Masonic initiation is symbolic and experiential. You will go through a guided ritual designed to awaken your understanding, humility, and desire for light. Nothing you will encounter is meant to frighten or harm you. The experience is deeply meaningful and has been preserved for centuries, for a reason. Many men describe their initiation as one of the most memorable moments of their lives. After your entered apprentice degree, you will officially be a Freemason, but only at the beginning of your journey. You will be given material to study and will likely be paired with a mentor. You may also be expected to memorize and recite certain passages, depending on your lodge's customs. This is not academic work. It is spiritual preparation. The work you do between degrees is as important as the degrees themselves. 2 more degrees await after a period of reflection and learning. You will be invited to take the second degree, known as the Fellowcraft, and later the third degree, known as the Master Mason. Each degree builds upon the last, guiding you further along the path of self-discovery and inner refinement. Acceptance. Being accepted is not the destination. It is permission to begin. You will be walking a path taken by kings and commoners, scholars and laborers, saints and seekers. Approach it with sincerity. Walk it with integrity. The work has begun. What is expected of you as you progress through the 3 degrees? Freemasonry is only the beginning. The true work begins once you are initiated. As you pass through the 3 degrees, entered apprentice, Fellowcraft, and Master Mason, you are not just gaining titles. You are taking part in a spiritual and moral progression that asks more of you at each step. Freemasonry does not impose burdens, but it does offer opportunities for growth. And it expects sincere men to respond with effort, discipline, and reflection. The entered apprentice, the first degree, is a beginning. It represents youth, the foundation of moral awareness, and the awakening of the inner builder. What is expected of you? Attend meetings regularly so you can begin to absorb the atmosphere and customs of the lodge. Show humility and a willingness to learn. You are now a student of the craft. Begin studying the symbols, working tools, and teachings of the degree. Learn what is called the catechism, or posting lecture, by memorization. This is a set of ritual questions and answers designed to reinforce the teachings of the degree and ensure your understanding. When you are ready, you will demonstrate proficiency, usually before the lodge, in the presence of your brothers. This is not meant to intimidate, but to mark your growth and readiness to continue. The lodge will support you, but you are expected to take initiative. Your first steps in Masonry are your own. The Fellowcraft second degree represents growth. Here the focus turns to education, discipline, and expanding your understanding of yourself and the universe. What is expected of you? Deepen your engagement with Masonic philosophy, especially regarding reason, order, and balance. Continue your attendance and participation in lodge instruction and functions. Study the symbolism of the pillars, the winding staircase, and the liberal arts and sciences. Learn the catechism for the Fellowcraft degree and prepare to demonstrate proficiency in open lodge. Ask deeper questions about the moral and spiritual teachings of the craft. As a fellow craft, you are no longer new. You are an active laborer in the quarry of the self. Your growth depends on how seriously you take the tools you have been given. The Master Mason, the third degree, is the culmination of the Blue Lodge journey. It symbolizes maturity, the mastery of life and death, and the completion of one cycle before the beginning of another. What is expected of you? Demonstrate the maturity and integrity expected of a full Brother Mason. Contribute meaningfully to the life of the Lodge. Through service, mentorship, ritual, or support, reflect on the profound themes of the degree, mortality, immortality, legacy, and the spiritual temple. Complete the catechism or posting lecture for the Master Mason degree. This final piece of memory work is your affirmation that you have internalized the teachings of the craft. Live Masonry beyond the Lodge. The world becomes your temple. Becoming a Master Mason is not an end. It is a call to carry Masonic light into your daily life. You are now entrusted with the deeper mysteries of the craft, not only to understand them, but to embody them. Work the 3 degrees are not levels to be achieved. They are veils to be lifted, layers to be worked through, mirrors to be faced. Each asks something of you. Time, attention, effort, reflection, humility after each degree. Your memorization of the catechism becomes a form of personal integration. You do not just learn the words, you make them part of your thinking. Freemasonry does not demand perfection. It asks only that you work. What Freemasonry is, not Freemasonry, has inspired curiosity for centuries. But alongside that curiosity, misinformation has flourished. From whispers of global conspiracy to accusations of occultism, Freemasonry has been called many things. It simply is not. For the sincere seeker, clarity is essential. Before you understand what the craft truly offers, you must first understand what it does not. Freemasonry is not a religion at first glance. Freemasonry may appear religious. It uses symbols, like the Bible, references to God, and ceremonies rich with moral instruction. But Freemasonry does not claim divine authority. It does not offer salvation, require specific creeds, or replace your church, mosque, synagogue, or temple. Freemasonry requires that a man believe in a supreme being, but it does not tell him who or what that being is. It leaves theology to religion, and instead focuses on building character, cultivating virtue, and seeking universal truths that transcend denominational boundaries. Freemasonry has no clergy, no sacraments, no official dogma, and no claim to religious revelation. It is spiritual, but not religious. If you already have a faith tradition, Freemasonry will not interfere with it. If you do not, Masonry is not here to give you one. Freemasonry is not a secret society. The term secret society implies a hidden agenda, concealed membership, and covert activity. None of this applies to Freemasonry. Freemasonry is a society with secrets, not a secret society. Its buildings are marked with square and compasses. Its officers are listed publicly. Many lodges host open houses, parades, and charity events. Members proudly wear Masonic rings or insignia. You may live near a lodge and never have realized it was open to visitors. So what are the secrets? They are symbolic modes of recognition, such as handshakes, words, and ritual actions that preserve the dignity and privacy of the work. These elements are not hidden because they are dangerous or powerful. They are reserved because they are sacred. In a world that overexposes and overswears, Freemasonry chooses to preserve mystery, not to exclude others, but to deepen meaning for those who commit. Freemasonry is not a political organization. Freemasonry is apolitical by design. Politics is one of the few topics explicitly prohibited in lodge discussion, alongside religion. This rule exists to protect the harmony of the lodge. In the world outside, men may differ in party, ideology, and policy. Inside the lodge, they are meant to meet as equals, on the level, without division. Freemasonry does not endorse candidates or movements. It does not push agendas or form political blocs. While individual Masons may serve in public office or hold strong political views, they do so in their personal capacity, not as representatives of the craft. The lodge is a sanctuary from the noise and conflict of the political world. It is a place for inner work, not outer campaigning. Freemasonry is not a cult or conspiracy. This may be the most common and unfounded myth about Freemasonry. It is not involved in world domination, demonic worship, or secret control of governments. These ideas, often repeated in fringe media, are based on fear, ignorance, or deliberate distortion. Freemasonry has no central global leadership. There is no supreme council of the world issuing orders. Each Grand Lodge is sovereign and independent. Lodges focus on personal development, fraternal service, and community charity, not occult control or hidden power. The rituals of Masonry are solemn and symbolic, not magical. They are designed to teach moral truths through allegory, not to invoke spirits, channel power, or manipulate others. Masonry honors divine law, encourages virtue, and promotes brotherhood. There is no secret plot, only the open and ancient path of becoming a better man. Freemasonry is not a shortcut to wealth or influence. Men approach the craft, thinking it is a business network or social club for advancement. They are quickly disappointed. While Freemasonry will surround you with honorable men, it does not exist to promote careers or deliver favors. Brotherhood is not barter. If a man joins for personal gain, his experience will be shallow. Masonry does not operate on transaction, but transformation. Men of every background are in the lodge, rich and poor, educated and uneducated, young and old. In the lodge, all stand on the same level. Wealth brings no privilege. Status brings no authority. The value of Freemasonry is found within in the lessons, the rituals, the friendships, and the personal growth. Freemasonry is not for everyone. Masonry is not elitist, but it is intentional. It does not throw its doors wide open. It waits for the right kind of man to come knocking. Not every man is ready for the commitment, discipline, and inner work that the craft demands. That is not a judgment. It is simply a matter of calling. If a man is not self-motivated, Masonry will feel empty. If he expects instant reward, he will be disappointed. If he is unwilling to grow, the symbols will never open. Freemasonry is for men who want to build, men who want to serve, men who seek to understand the deeper patterns behind life and truth. If that is not you, there is no shame in walking another path. But if that is you, Freemasonry may be what you have been searching for. What Freemasonry is, our Remasonry is not a club, a secret society, or a religion. It is a fraternal order devoted to the improvement of the individual man. Morally, intellectually, and spiritually, it is one of the world's oldest and most enduring initiatic traditions. Its purpose is to help good men become better, not better than others, but better than they were yesterday. A moral philosophy and symbol and ceremony at its core. Freemasonry teaches timeless ethical values such as honesty, integrity, self-discipline, service, and humility. These values are not taught through lectures, but through symbolic ritual. The tools of ancient stonemasons, including the square, the compass, the plumb, and the level, are used symbolically to instruct the inner builder. A man is taught to square his actions, circumscribe his passions, and build his character as though it were a temple. Each Masonic degree presents lessons in the form of allegory. Through these ceremonies, a man learns more about himself, his duty to others, and his relationship to the divine. A brotherhood of equals. Freemasonry brings together men from all walks of life, including different religions, races, cultures, and professions. In the lodge, all titles are set aside. Every man is called brother. It is not a place for division or ego. It is a refuge of unity and respect, where men meet on the level, equal in dignity, and in pursuit of a shared goal. This fraternal bond extends beyond lodge walls. Masons are expected to care for one another, to stand by their word, and to support their communities. Brotherhood is not just ritual. It is action. A personal journey of transformation. Masonry is not just about belonging. It is about becoming. Through its 3 degrees, a man moves from symbolic birth to maturity. He is taught to know himself, to confront mortality, and to strive for the spiritual ideal of the Master Mason, one who has mastered himself. The experience is not passive. A Mason must study, serve, memorize, reflect, and return again and again to the symbols for deeper meaning. The lodge provides the tools. The work must be done by the individual. A legacy of light Freemasonry has inspired men across centuries, including philosophers, poets, presidents, builders, soldiers, and visionaries. What they found in its teachings was not power or privilege, but purpose. It has preserved and passed down spiritual and moral truths that stretch back to the mysteries of the ancient world. Through the medieval builders and into the present day. It is a living tradition, and it is open only to those who seek it freely. Freemasonry is a system of moral and spiritual instruction taught through allegory and symbol, a fraternity of men committed to integrity, quality, and brotherhood, and an ascetic path of personal growth and transformation, a tradition grounded in service to others, and reverence for the divine, a lifelong pursuit of light, including truth. Wisdom, and virtue it, is not easy. It is not quick. But for the man who is called to it, it is deeply rewarding. You will not be told what to think. You will be challenged to think. You will not be given power. You will be handed a trowel. What to know after you become a master Mason. Reaching the Master Mason degree is a meaningful milestone. It marks your full admission into the fraternity, with all the rights and privileges that entails. But it is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a new phase, one that is yours to shape. Freemasonry offers many paths, but it does not impose them. What you choose to do with your membership is a personal decision, guided by your values, interests, and circumstances. Here is what you may choose to pursue after being raised to the sublime. Degree of Master Mason. You will be welcome to participate. More fully as a Master Mason, you now have the full right to attend and vote in all lodge business. You may choose to attend regular stated meetings, witness and support the degreesing new candidates, join committees, projects, or educational sessions, explore visiting other lodges, locally or abroad. Participation is never forced. But with greater light comes greater opportunity to contribute. You are expected to maintain good standing when a man joins Freemasonry. He becomes part of a lodge and assumes the responsibility of supporting it. This includes paying regular dues. 2. Remain in good standing and be eligible to visit other lodges. A Mason must pay his annual dues to at least one lodge of record. These dues support the operations, upkeep, and charitable work of the lodge. If a brother falls on hard times and is unable to pay, he is encouraged to speak honestly with the lodge. It is understood that life brings difficulty, and an honorable man will be met with understanding. In most cases, lodges will gladly make arrangements or extend relief when a brother is sincere. No good and honest brother is turned away over money alone. The obligation is not to wealth, but to integrity. You may choose to keep learning. Some Masons enjoy a quiet membership. Others are drawn deeper into the philosophical, historical, and esoteric aspects of the craft. You are now free to explore the symbolic meanings behind the degrees, the writings of great Masonic thinkers, the history and traditions of Freemasonry across cultures, the spiritual and moral principles encoded in its ritual. This is lifelong work, but it is self-guided. There is no curriculum and no pressure. Just the path, waiting. You can choose to serve if you feel called, if you feel a desire to give back. There are many ways to do so. You may be invited to mentor newer brothers, assist with lodge operations or ceremonies, serve in progressive officer roles, support charitable or community efforts. None of this is required. But service is one of the most rewarding ways to deepen your experience and strengthen the bonds of brotherhood. You are trusted to represent the craft. Perhaps the only true expectation is this life. With integrity, Freemasonry trusts that the lessons you have received will influence how you speak, act, and treat others. You are now an ambassador of the craft, not officially, but personally. The values of Masonry should shine through your character. That is the work. There is no Masonic lifestyle you are obligated to adopt. Some Masons become deeply active. Others attend when they can. Some quietly reflect on the teachings in solitude. You are not judged by how much you do or how much you know, but by how faithfully you live what Masonry teaches. Freemasonry does not demand. It invites. The rest is up to you. Final thoughts on deciding to become a Freemason. The decision to pursue Freemasonry is not a casual choice. It is not like joining a club for recreation or signing up for a course with predictable outcomes. It is a moment of quiet resolution, where a man acknowledges a deeper desire to live with meaning, to grow with integrity, and to contribute to something greater than himself. This decision signals a turning point, one where the soul begins to seek more than what the surface of life can offer. To consider the craft seriously is to recognize that something within you longs for depth. Perhaps it is the sense that your life, though full of activity, lacks direction. Or perhaps it is a hunger for wisdom that the noise of modern life has never quite satisfied. This is not about dissatisfaction with the world, but about responding to an inward call for purpose. Not every man is ready for this path, and that is neither failure nor fault. Readiness is a matter of timing and maturity. Some arrive in their 20s, others much later. What matters is not when you come, but that when you do, you come with sincerity. Freemasonry does not demand perfection. It invites the willingness to learn, and the courage to be shaped by something enduring. This journey is not defined by easy answers or shortcuts. The symbols and rituals are not puzzles to solve, but mirrors to look into. The lessons are not handed out, but discovered through effort, humility, and reflection. You will not be told what to think, nor will you be sheltered from the challenges of life. Instead, you will be given the tools to build a steadier foundation within yourself. The work is not always glamorous. It is quiet, personal, and slow. It requires discipline and the willingness to be changed. While others chase recognition, Freemasonry asks you to embrace responsibility. Where others seek comfort, it calls you to develop character. It is a tradition built not on trend but on truth. If your interest in Freemasonry is only casual or based on curiosity, it may be wise to continue learning from a distance until you feel a deeper sense of purpose. If you are drawn by the hope of gaining influence, connections, or personal advantage, the experience will likely fall short of your expectations. But if you are genuinely seeking personal growth, if you are ready to explore your inner life and understand your role in the larger human story, then you may already be on the path. In that case, the lodge is not far. It is waiting for your sincere approach. The journey begins not with an invitation, but with intention. The door does not swing open on command. It opens when the man standing before it has already begun the work within.